attend these voluntary sessions?
I think it's just good to get around the new guys. We have a lot of new faces this year, so just kind of helping the new guys out. And I don't think there's really been much of a normal off season for me in terms of just, well, we had COVID, we had my injury, and the contract situation. So it's kind of a new year. I want to be around. It's good to be around. So.
What are your impressions of some of those new guys that run in here? A lot of them.
I like them. Yeah, it's a bunch of good dudes. Just got here, so we're gonna keep working. And I like our edge guys that we picked up, and I'm excited to work with them.
Do you know much about? I know you played against him, Leonard Floyd, and what's been kind of your early read on him?
I think he's super skilled rusher, good length, and he's more athletic than I even realized. And I think guys like him, when they come to our scheme, are the best is brought out of them. So I'm excited to see what potential he has. He's year 9, so I feel like you, as a D lineman, you can keep improving all the way through 10 years in this league. So I'm excited to see what he's got.
How well did you know Sorensen when he was assistant here, and have you gotten to know him a lot better? What's the relationship maybe right now?
I knew him pretty well. He was always just a good dude around the facility. He did our ball meetings, so he's good in front of a group. He's a good leader. He knows the scheme really well, which is good. I was happy to see him promoted. He called me in the off season. We talked. I just congratulated him, and I think he's gonna bring something similar to what we had with D'Amico. So it'll be good.
Do you know Brandon Staley well at all? I mean, obviously Joey played for him.
Don't know too much about him. I've obviously heard from my brother, but I don't even think I've said hi yet. I haven't ran into him yet, but I'm sure I'll get to know him.
When you say like similar to D'Amico, the energy or system?
Maybe a little different energy, but I think just knowing the system from the front to the back, I think he knows how it ties in, and he's been around with some really good coaches. So I think it'll be pretty seamless, and I think we'll be firing on all cylinders.
You're 3 months removed from the Super Bowl now, so just how have you, I guess, digested it, and I guess physically everything good to go?
Yeah, I feel really good. I think it's been one of my better off seasons of just kind of, it was a long year, so I took it nice and slow to get back into it. I'm not as young as I once was, so I'm taking a little slower, but everything's great. I'm feeling as good as I've felt. I'm excited to actually get some practice in. Last year was kind of tough getting thrown in week 1 after a walkthrough, so that was another reason I'm excited to be here, is just to get practicing a little bit. In-season practice is one thing, but actually being able to work your stuff and not have a game coming up is good. With the Super Bowl, unfortunately, I know how to bounce back from tough losses, so it was rough for a little bit, but now it's just annoying when people bring it up.
Since the end of last season, we've seen Brock on TV commercials and on the stage with Luke Coombs and throwing out the first pitch in a Giants game. But he seems like a guy that's totally unaffected by celebrity, which he has now. But what have you noticed in his leadership style and the way he carries himself? Any difference at all?
I think he's definitely getting a little more vocal within the building, and yeah, I mean, I don't think he's ever going to change. I don't think he's somebody that's going to change even when he gets paid next year. So he's a man of faith, and he kind of reminds me of Scottie Scheffler, but except for just super humble and really good kid. And yeah, he's definitely famous. He's famous.
Do you know Scheffler?
I don't, just from watching.
You saw Armstead get released. Obviously, it meant so much to the defensive line and to the team. I mean, Kyle and John were pretty open that they were willing to talk about trading Debo or Ayuk at draft. Does that just what's that feel like in the locker room when those sort of jolts happen?
I didn't even know that happened. And I wasn't here. But you're talking about this offseason?
Yeah,
You're
Armstead,
talking-
Eric did
Oh.
get released, so that's certainly one thing.
Yeah, it's a tough business for sure. You have to have thick skin, and I haven't gone through that, but I think you just have to understand that it is a business, and the team's going to try and get as good as it possibly can with or without you. And you have to look out for yourself. That's why you go through holdouts and do certain things that seem selfish in the moment, but it is what it is, and when everything's settled, we're going to come together as a team and try and go get one.
Nick, what's the overall feeling around the group right now? Like, how much does it feel like the excitement of the ramp up to the season, even though it's early?
It feels good. It's been a couple days for me, so I like all the new guys. I'm getting to know everybody. But I think the past is in the past, and we're ready to go.
Do you talk to BA? Have you talked to BA at all about handling the business part of this? He's going through something similar.
We chat a little bit, but not too much about the details. I just told him to keep his head up and try and stay positive through it all.
What were your first impressions when you heard what your schedule would be in that Aaron Rodgers' first step?
It'll be fun. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
Nick, excuse me, kind of alluded to this, but the fact that last year you had to have that holdout, you said that affected you somewhat early in the season. If you hadn't had that experience, would you be here right now? I mean, was that part of the motivation for being here early, just to have kind of the opposite of what last year might have been?
No, I don't think that's one of the reasons, but I just talked to Kyle, and he kind of asked me. He kind of stated how he felt about why it would be good for me to be here, and asked if I agreed, and I 100% did agree. So it's not like I'm missing too much. I think I'm out here. It's a little less workload than I'm doing back home, so it's kind of a good active recovery thing for me, and I'm getting football work in specifically, so that's good. I'm not. It's not compromising my training at all, and I get to meet all the guys, so it's positive.
How did Joey take the news? Your brother, did you have to like let him down and say, "I'm leaving you"?
Oh no, he's there. He's got a new regime over there. So he's,
Did he ditch you first?
I actually thought I was coming next week until recently, so I was gonna have one more week at home, but we're both in California.
And then last thing, but anything you could like share about Kyle's reasons that you agreed with for being here?
Yeah, just the things I already stated, just getting around the guys, and just getting the football stuff honed in a little bit before camp starts.
You haven't been afraid to speak out on player safety issues and things like that when it comes to playing services and things like that. The 18-game schedule has been kind of discussed again here recently. What is your kind of take on that possibility?
I don't know how many games they could just keep adding. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why one more needs to be added, but yeah, it's not my job to.
Suffice to say, you'd be against it.
Yeah, I mean, I think 16, 4-4, 4-4 was a good little setup, but it's all good.
If they
I'll play it.
If they do, you'd want another bye, 2 byes.
Yeah, but then we got to shorten the off-season program a little bit. But no comment.
Good.
Thanks.